Okay, mic on. I hope the dimensions of this work out all right. I'm not exactly sure, like, how large my model should be or where it should go. But yeah, it looks like I got the unofficial Homestuck collection working, which means I now have, like, gigabytes of data. So I'm just gonna start it, because the beginning is kind of slow. Alright, let's see how this looks real quick. Yeah, that's good. I'd say my model is an appropriate size. There isn't really any music in the game yet. There will be, but that's a little bit away. Alright. A young man stands in his bedroom. It just so happens that today, the 13th of April, 2009, I'm old, is this young man's birthday. Though it was 13 years ago he was given life, it is only today he will be given a name. What will the name of this young man be? Enter name. Zoo Smell Poop Lord. Try again, smartass. John Egberts. Alright. Examine room. Your name is John. As was previously mentioned, it is your birthday. A number of cakes are scattered about your room. You have a variety of interests. You have a passion for really terrible movies. You like to program computers, but you're not very good at it. You have a fondness for paranormal lore and are an aspiring amateur magician. You also like to play games sometimes. What will you do? John, quickly retrieve arms from drawer. Your arms are in your magic chest, Poop Lord. Remove cake from magic chest. Out of sympathy for John's perceived lack of arms, you pick up the cake for him and put it on his bed. John, quickly retrieve arms from magic chest. You retrieve your fake arms from the chest. You use these for hilarious antics. You captcha log them in your Sylladex. You have no idea what that actually means, though. There are other items in the chest. Examine contents of chest. In here, you keep an array of humorous and mystical artifacts, each one a devastating weapon in the hands of a skilled magician or a cunning prankster. You are neither of these things. Among your artifacts are 2 fake arms, currently captcha-logged in your Sylladex. That's basically an inventory. 1 pair of trick handcuffs, 1 stunt sword, 1 magician's hat, 1 pair of Beagle Puss glasses. Is that what those are called? I always called them Groucho Marx glasses because they look like Groucho Marx, the old vaudeville guy. You know, from the Marx Brothers. Several smoke pellets, several blood capsules, and 1 copy of Colonel Sassacre's daunting text of magical frivolity and practical japery, and 1 copy of Harry Anderson's Wise Guy by Mike Cavaney. Some of this stuff may come in handy at some point. For now, you decide to just take the smoke pellets. Captcha log smoke pellets. You stow the smoke pellets on one of your captcha log cards in your Sylladex. You still aren't totally sure what that means, but you're starting to get the hang of the vernacular at least. You have 2 empty captcha log cards remaining. Equip fake arms. You aren't totally sure if equip is a verb copacetic with the abstract behavioral medium in which you dwell, but you give it a try anyway. Good lord, I forgot how verbose this was. Unfortunately, you cannot access the fake arms. Their card is underneath the one you just used to captcha log the smoke pellets. You will have to use the pellets first in order to access the arms, but this is probably unadvisable since you just make your room lousy with smoke. Your Syllodex's fetch modus is currently dictated by the logic of a stack data structure. You are never all that great with data structures, and you find the concept puzzling and mildly irritating. But with any hope, perhaps you will advance now. More practical fetch mode. Perhaps you will advance new, more practical fetch modi for your Sylladex with a little more experience. Examine the Problem Sleuth poster. This was an earlier webcomic by the same author. It's just as nonsensical, but, it starts out way more normal, I'll say. Is it even possible to get any more hard-boiled than that? You really doubt it. This poster was one of your wisest purchases. There's a nice spot on the wall next to it. You've been meaning to hang another poster there soon. It looks like this used to contain a link where you could buy this poster. Read note on drawer. This note is rich with the aromas of fatherly aftershaves and colognes. Beside the note is a rolled-up poster. Happy birthday, son. I am so proud of you. He typed it like a business card. Take poster. Another birthday artifact. You wonder what's printed on the poster. You'll need some way to hang it on your wall. Acquire hammer and nails. They will come in handy. Acquire hammer and nails. They will come in handy. You first place the hammer into your Sylladex, but now all of your capture log cards are full. You wonder what will happen if you try to take nails. You guess it doesn't hurt to try. Take nails. You capture log 4 nails into the top card and push all of the artifacts down a card. The fake arms are pushed entirely out of the deck. Oh well, they're probably completely useless anyway. But you probably don't want to do that again unless you want to drop the smoke pellets and suffer the consequences. In any case, you now feel like you have gathered enough things to get down to business and do some really important stuff. The next thing you do will probably be exceptionally meaningful. Squawk like an imbecile and shit on your desk. That is the dumbest idea you've had in weeks. Stupid, stupid, stupid. And yet the polished surface of your desk, it beckons. Combine the nails and hammer. You merge the top 2 cards. The hammer and nails are now capture logged on the same card and can be used together. You know, when I first read this, it didn't occur to me that he probably shouldn't be using a hammer and nails to put up a poster. Because everything else is just so weird, right? Little things like that kind of go over your head. You use the hammer and nails card in conjunction with the card beneath it. You use the hammer, nails, and poster on the blank space on the wall. It's glorious. Exactly what you wanted. The old man really came through this time. A poster for Little Monsters starring Fred Savage and Howie Mandel. Examine Con Air poster. Put the bunny back in the box. I said, put the bunny back in the box. Why couldn't you put the bunny back in the box? This is a reference to Con Air, which is a Nick Cage movie about a bunch of criminals on an airplane, and then they take over the airplane. But Nick Cage is a good criminal, so he has to beat the other criminals so he can get back to his family, and there's something about a rabbit. I don't know. Examine Deep Impact poster. Morgan Freeman's genteel, homespun mannerisms were perfect qualities for a present residing over a crisis. Oceans rise, cities fall, hope survives. Wow. Films about impending apocalypses fascinate you. Plus, a black president? Now you've seen everything. Aw, man. I forget if Obama was in office when this was written or not, or if he was just running. You've marked your birthday, the 13th of April. Another day you marked was supposed to be the arrival of the arrival date for the highly touted Spurb beta launch. It's been 3 days already. It's starting to become a sore subject with you. Eat cake. You are sick to death of cake. You've been eating it all day, and you have no intention of clogging your Sylladex with it either. The cake stays put for now. You hear a notice from your computer. Someone is messaging you. Examine incoming message. His desktop background. System, Typheus, Pesterchum, pff.cake, fuck.cake, ag.ath. Looks more well organized than my desktop. You pull up to your computer. This is where you spend most of your time. You decorated your desktop with some rather handsome wallpaper, which you made yourself. You're really proud of it. Your desktop is also littered with various programming project files. You are so bad at programming, sometimes you wonder why you even bother with it. Your Pesterchum application is flashing. Someone is trying to get in touch with you. Open Pesterchum. Only one of your chums is logged in. He sent you a message. Open message. Turntech Godhead. Show Pester log. Turntech Godhead, TG, this is Dave. began pestering ectobiologist at 4:13. Hey, so what sort of insane loot did you rake in today? I got a little Monsters poster. It's so awesome. I'm going to watch it again today. The apple juice scene was so funny. Oh, hell, that is such a coincidence. I just found an unopened container of apple juice in my closet. It is like fucking Christmas up in here. Okay, that's fine, but I just have one question and then a word of caution. Have you ever seen a movie called Little Monsters starring Howie Mandel and Fred Savage? But the seal on the bottle is unbroken. Are you suggesting someone put piss in my apple juice at the factory? All I'm saying is, don't you think Monster Howie Mandel has the power to do something as simple as reseal a bottle? Try using your brain, numbnuts. Why did the fat kid or whoever drink it know what piss? Why did the fat kid or whoever drank it know what piss tasted like? I mean, his reaction was nigh instantaneous. It was the 15th day in a row Howie Mandel peed in his juice. Okay, I can accept that. Monster B-list celebrity douchebags are cunning and persistent pranksters. Also, Fred Savage has a really punchable face. But who cares about this? Let's stop talking about it. Did you get the beta yet? No. Did you? Nah. Man, I got 2 copies already. But I don't care. I'm not going to play it or anything. The game sounds boring. Did you see how it got slammed in Game Bro? Game Bro is a joke and we both know it. Yeah? Why don't you go check your mail? Maybe it's there now. Alright. Lookout window. You see the view of your yard from your window. Hanging from the tree is your tire swing. In a kid's yard, a tree without a tire swing is like a proper gentleman without a monocle. That is to say, he can hardly be considered a terribly proper gentleman at all. And there, besides your driveway, is the mailbox. Examine mailbox. The little red arm swingy dealy thing, or whatever it's called, is flipped up. What the hell is that thing called anyway? You do not have time for these semantics. The red flippy lever thing means that you have new mail, and that means that the beta might be here. Go outside and check mailbox. You're about to hurry downstairs when you hear a car pull into the driveway. It looks like your dad has returned from the grocery store. Oh great, he is beating you to the mail. Forget it, check mail later. If you go downstairs and get it, he will likely monopolize hours of your time. You decide to chill out up here for a while until the dust settles. Sometimes you feel like you are trapped in this room. Stuck, if you will, in a sense which possibly borders on the titular. And now your chum is pestering you again. The clockwork of friendship turns ceaselessly, operating the swing lever dealies of harassment in perpetuity. Whatever, the dude can just hold his damn horses. Examine games on CD rack. Couldn't load plugin. You've put countless man-hours into this assortment of quality titles. Read Colonel Sassacre's daunting text. You decide to consult with the Colonel's bottomless wisdom. Good grief, this thing is huge. It could kill a cat if you dropped it. But to really dig into this hefty book, you will have to captchalogue it. You're not sure you're ready to log jam your other artifacts beneath it just yet. I forgot to breathe. Happens to everyone. Captchalogue fake arms again. What did you just say? You don't want to clog up your... Oh, Jesus. In a momentary lapse of concentration, you accidentally captchalogue the arms again. Set Pester Chum status to Bully. You don't think the situation is quite dire enough to go all the way to rancorous, but you still feel the Pester Chum client should reflect your mood change in some way. Bully will have to do, you guess. This, unsurprisingly, does nothing whatsoever. Oh right, you forgot your chum is still pestering you. Answer chum. Is it there? Please say yes. Maybe you can play it with TT. She's been pestering me all day about it. She's macking on me so hard all the time, I start to feel embarrassed for her. I mean, not that I can blame her or anything. Yes, it is understandable because you are really attractive. I am attracted to you. Thank you. JK, haha. No, I don't have it yet. My dad has the mail, and I guess I have to go get it from him and see if it's there. And I've been busy spending all afternoon shitting around with my stupid Siladex. It's so frustrating. What's your modus? What? How do you retrieve artifacts from it? Oh, like one at a time, I guess, and if I put too much in, something falls out. Stack? What's yours? Hash map. My bro taught me a few tricks. He basically knows everything and is awesome. What the hell is that? You should probably brush up on your data structures, I guess. Did you at least allocate your Strife Specibus? No? It could free up a card for you. Gwimbly, what's the matter? You had food, buddy. You got food, you got water. You should probably brush up on your data structures. I guess. Did you at least allocate your Strife Specibus? No? It could free up a card for you. Plus, let you attack stuff whenever things get too hot to handle. Which is never. What have you got? Well, I've got a hammer, but it's trapped under some arms. Wow, you really suck at this, don't you? Just get rid of the arms and then allocate the hammer to the Specibus. How? I don't know, just use the arms on any old thing and see if it works. Combine fake arms with cake. You stick the fake arms in the cake on your bed. This definitely makes the cake at least 300% more hilarious. You're sure Colonel Sassacre would know the precise index of elevated hilarity. Allocate hammer to Strife Specibus. You know, I thought going to college kind of wrecked my vocabulary and made it so that I used like a bunch of big words and I'm kind of hard to understand sometimes. Now I'm starting to think it was reading this at a formative age. You check the back of your Strife Specibus for the kind of abstratus you have in mind for it. Select hammer. Your Strife Specibus has been allocated with the hammer kind abstratus. The hammer has been moved from your capture log deck to your Strife deck. Report progress to TG. Okay, I did it. Hammer kind? Yeah. Okay, that'll be the permanent allocation of your Specibus. I guess I should have mentioned that. Hope you like hammers, dude. Yeah, that's fine, I guess. I can't imagine it's going to be all that relevant. Capture log the Colonel's big book. It's going to be relevant. Now that you've got some space in your Sylladex to work with, you figure you might as well start squandering it immediately. Ordinarily, this ridiculous book would be way too heavy to carry around in any practical way. You guess maybe this is one respect in which the cards present some convenience. Examine Game Bro magazine. Game Bro, Spurb. Why the game of the year or whatever isn't as good as some other stuff I like that's better. Read article. Game Bro feature, Spurb. So, okay. Spurb is this game that a lot of cats seem hella pumped of, and this beta is sitting on my desk for review. So I'm like, yeah, man, I'll write something. But I don't know, I'm like, so this is about houses or some noise? That's fine. I'm sure that's like fucking dynamite in a handbag for some brosifs, but all I'm saying is, when do you get to thrash anything? While you're playing house or some shit, are you ever in jeopardy of getting mud on your doll's dress or whatever from busting out, and I quote, the mad stunts all wicked uppins? Know what I'm saying? Broyo ma? Broyo ma? I didn't actually play this game, but I gave it a 1.5 hats out of 5 hats. Keep it real. At this point, I'd like to give a shout out to my boy Dennis, who was over the other day. We were gonna chill in front of the Dark Knight, and he was psyched of it, y'all. So this one time he was leaning against the screen door and the shit popped open and the back deck was wet and he slipped down the steps and broke his thumb on the lawn. It wasn't a long fall, but hey, I guess a thumb bone wasn't made for supporting the brunt of a huge useless tool against wet grass. We never did watch Dark Knight on account of Ron trucking his balling candy ass girth to the hospital. But it's still cool. I still got another watch in me. Brotel Rwanda. Bro's notes. Dennis was so wasted. Haha, I mean, damn. Rating for Spurb, 1.5 out of 5 hats. Gee, I think Andrew Hussey doesn't think very highly of games journalists. That's not a real job. I'm kidding. It might come in handy if you ever need anything that burns easily. Capture log, Magician's Hat. You expend your final card on the Magician's Hat. Get funny glasses, too. You don't have a free card in your Sylladex. However, you are able to merge the Beaglepuss with the Magician's Hat in order to create clever disguise. Wear disguise to fool Dad. Gwimbly, that's not a toy. That's my charging cable. Come here. Come here. I have acquired the cat. John, Who is this John you speak of? You are quite certain there has never been, nor ever will be. Yeah, this is a really shitty disguise. While you're wearing the items, they remain on the card, but it is temporarily removed from the deck, thus freeing up the cards beneath it. Leave room. You exit into the hallway. On one wall hangs a picture of a fella who sure knows how to have a laugh, a man after your own heart. You always thought he looked a lot like Michael Cera, but your dad swears on the many hallowed tombs of Egypt that it is not. You're not sure about that, though. On the other wall is one of your dad's stupid clowns, or harlequins, as he is quick to correct anyone who would venture such a brazen assumption. Go downstairs. The accursed odor of fresh baking wafts into your newfound nostrils. Something is brewing in the kitchen. It must be the connivings of your arch nemesis, Betty Crocker, and the rich, buttery aroma of her plot stinks to high heaven. This mission is going to be more difficult than you imagined. Admire harlequins. You check out the shelves of fanciful harlequins. Look at this fucking garbage. You hate this stuff. Funny is funny, but your dad sure can be a real cornball. Sometimes at night you pray for burglars. Examine fireplace. A bright orange flame flickers in the fireplace. It doesn't matter that it's April and not terribly chilly outside. In a home, a fireplace needs a fire, because that's what a fireplace is for. A fire belongs in a fireplace, damn it. Categorically, at all times, without exception. A domestic myth of unaccountable origin holds, a home borrows the spirit of the flame for as long as it makes a guest of it. As much as the moon takes liberty with the sun's rays. The moon's an errant thief, and her pale fire she snatches from the sun. Mark Twain. You're almost certain Mark Twain said that. Toss Game Bro into fire. It doesn't burn as quickly as you hoped. Each Game Bro magazine is guaranteed to be printed on 40% recycled asbestos for big ups to Mother Earth, yo. Fondly regard cremation. You examine the sacred urn containing your departed Nana's ashes. When your father gives her portrait a wistful glance now and then, you can tell it brings back painful memories. A tall bookshelf, a ladder, an unabridged Colonel Sassacres. He never wants to talk about it. Topple urn. You clumsily mishandle the sacred urn, ashes everywhere. In retrospect, upon mulling cinematic tropes regarding ash-filled urns, this outcome was virtual certainty. You'd probably better clean it up before Dad finds it. Combine father's pipe with clever disguise. You think now would be a good time to beef up your clever disguise. Examine oversized gift. Champ, you can do anything if you put your mind to it. I believe in you. Contemplating what could be inside this package is sort of exciting, but it makes you a little nervous at the same time. Open large present. Oh, hell no. Capture log ashes. First you prop the Harlequin doll up on the couch. Having it in the middle of the floor sprawled out all akimbo-like that struck you as unseemly. You capture log the ashes to your available card. Combine ashes with urn. You merge the sacred urn with the ashes. Most of the ash is back in the urn, but it's a total mess. Really, it probably would have been tidier if you just used a broom and a dustpan. Put urn back. No one will be the wiser, except maybe for people with eyes. Go get fake arms again. You just got another brilliant idea for something to do with those pointless arms. You pry them out of the cake and capture log them. Looks like Pester Chum is acting up again. John, examine third and fourth walls of room. Gwimbly, what are you doing? Hey, knock that off. Check Pester Chum. Another one of your chums is messaging you. Check message. Tentacle Therapist, or TT for short. I understand you have recently come into possession of the beta release of the Game of the Year as featured in respectable periodicals such as Game Bro magazine. That's an ugly rumor. Whoever told you that is a filthy liar, and you should probably stop hitting on him all the time or whatever. I can't control myself. I must have a weakness for insufferable pricks. Anyway, I still haven't checked the mail. My dad has it. I'm trying to get it from him, so BRB. John? What? You're wearing one of your disguises now, aren't you? You're typing to me right now while wearing something ridiculous. No, why would you even think that? That's so stupid. Okay, why don't you go get the game from your father? All right, wish me luck. Oh, by the way, JK, I was wearing a funny disguise this whole time. Gotcha! I know, John. Go back downstairs. You can now execute that brilliant idea you had. There must be just enough frosting on the fake arms to serve as an adequate adhesive. Attach arms to doll. You don't care what Colonel Sassacre says. That makes it at least 1,000,000% funnier. Inspect burnt paper on the floor. Broblerone. Advertisement. You put this back in the fire where it belongs. Throw present wrap in fire. As long as you're cleaning up. Captcha-log doll. You can carry hefty items, but that thing is just way too big. Get real. Besides, you don't even want it. Read Colonel Sassacre's text. That's Mark Twain. The creepy crawlies. Hell's bells, we are having a mighty sporting time of it. Hold fast, my intrepid fellow prank smiths. We've merely nicked the mahogany of our japing chests. If I may direct the incisive ogle of your beagle puss to the wriggling regency of rubber bugs, plastic parasites, squirming serpents, pliable pests, and every such order and phyla of creepy crawlies, land sakes alive, we are cooking with petrol now. In further exhibits, we shall dwell on artifice useful to your exploits. Is your pappy's rod and reel handy? What about a bit of iron cord? It shouldn't prove elusive. Bring those writhing rascals to life and set the nerves of some old maid to the wreck of Hesperus. Do you have a bothersome aunt who never seems troubled to find ways with your sunny afternoons? A broad, splintery fence? A bucket of whitewash, perhaps? By gum, you'll fix her wagon. And what of that tawny gent who puts his lackadaisical lean near the sarsaparilla fount? You'll have that listless octoroon find the spring in his step just yet. Octoroon. Huh. I learned a new word. You thought about consulting the text to determine exactly how hilarious the doll is now, but this text is way too big to navigate in a timely fashion. You decide to forget it. Find Dad and retrieve mail. The door on the left leads to the kitchen, from which the smell of baking wafts, a powerful aroma which could lift an especially portly hobo off his feet. The door on the right leads to the study, where your dad spends a lot of time. He could be in either room. Where will you go? Go in the study. It doesn't look like he's in here right now. Examine Father's desk. On the desk is a deck of playing cards, one of your dad's pipes, the April issue of the Serious Jester magazine, and a stray captcha-log card. There is also a can of peanuts on the desk. Haha, oh Dad, you won't be falling for that one again anytime soon. A severe peanut allergy is a terrible affliction to cope with. Upgrade the costume with hat from Hat Rack. You swap the magician's hat with the bowler hat. This disguise is somewhat less funny, but a lot more distinguished looking. Combine second pipe with clever disguise. Your dad maintains numerous pipes around the household. A father without a pipe is like a strapping roughneck without a toothpick. That is to say, he is a rather piss-poor excuse for a roughneck if you ask me. You'd rather not take the pipe, though. The first one tastes bad enough as it is. How you suffer for your comedy. Examine captcha-log card. Yes, this will be perfect for expanding the space in your Scylla captcha-log card. So instead of expanding his inventory, he put the inventory expansion in his inventory, and he can't use it. Play haunting piano refrain. I hope this works. No! Ah, damn it. I will see if I can find that in my browser. Just a second. There it is. Okay, okay. Let me just... Just move up my display capture. Hit the display capture, make it bigger. Go over here. Okay. I'm just gonna do that for every other Flash segment. At least the ones that aren't loaded in, which might be all of them. I'm just glad I was able to get this running on my computer at all, honestly. Play 52 pickup. Heath Ledger's the Joker? You play the prankster's favorite card game, even though you are alone in the room, thus rendering it an especially foolish version of solitaire. So stupid, look at this mess. The peanut gallery over there is getting a kick out of it. You are allergic to their scorn. Attempt to leave the house. Is that a commercial for Ecto Cooler? That was a tie-in with Ghostbusters where it was basically just green Hi-C. You go back into the living room and contemplate checking the mailbox outside. You think perhaps you should exhaust all possibilities before plunging headlong into a dad encounter. Your television is currently airing a commercial. Exit. You exit the house. Check mail. Predictably, the mailbox is empty. You have already been scooped by your father. See if I can find that. The first one was easy to find because it had a title. Let me see. Wind Chime Foley. No, that's just the noise. That's not the video that it came with. Equal sign, forward thing. Well, I can at least get the song playing. Oh, I closed the window. Let's see. So this was just a shot of, like, the camera zooming out and showing John's house. And also the sun looks like that. So we're not missing too much with this one, but it is unfortunate that it wasn't able to be preserved. Yeah. The streets are empty. Wind skims the voids, keeping the neighbors apart, as if grazing the hollow of a cut reed, or, say, a plundered mailbox. A familiar note is produced. It is the one desolation plays to keep its instrument in tune. It is your 13th birthday, and as with all 12 preceding it, something feels missing from your life. The game presently eluding you is only the latest sleight of hand in the repertoire of an unseen riddler, one to engender a sense not of mirth, but of lack. His coarse schemes are those less of a prankster than a common pickpocket. His riddle is absence itself. It is a mystery, dispersing altogether, like the moon's faint reflection, with even one pebble of inquiry dropped in. It's a black well. It is the most diabolical riddle of all. Absence diminishes little passions and increases great ones, as wind extinguishes candles and fans a fire. Walt Whitman. Yes, you are certain Walt Whitman said that. 100% positive. You have a feeling it's going to be a long day. Make sure this looks all right on my screen. Yep, it's back to normal. John, leave a surprise for the mailman. No. See if your father left the mail in the car. The door is locked and your dad has the car keys. You peer in through the driver's side window. You don't see any mail, but you do see a green package. There is also something underneath it that looks like a slip of paper. Could these items have come in the mail? You don't see anything else that's usually in the mail, like bills and coupons. Maybe your dad forgot to take this stuff inside. Spy in the kitchen. You try to get a gander through the kitchen window, but you can't see a whole lot. It seems your dad has been doing so much baking, the glass is steamed up. God, he is so weird. But you can see what's on the table just beside the window. It looks like the mail is there. Included among it is a red package, some bills, your dad's PDA, and an envelope that appears to be suspiciously labeled with the Spurb logo. Could it be? Unfortunately, the window is locked. Go back into the kitchen. You have no other choice. You are going in clever disguise. It is time to work your magic. I'm gonna have to find this one too, aren't I? John, enter. Okay, I have the flash for this one on YouTube. Display capture. Very dramatic, yeah. Your dad sees right through your costume. You don't know what you were even thinking with this foolish ruse. You unequip the clever disguise. Your dad wields a dreaded artifact of confection. He stands between you and the mail. There is only one way to settle this. I am so glad that people have preserved these on YouTube. Okay, Strife. Display capture. pastry. Guardian rubric. Agreed. Guardian rubric. Bottle brand. Okay. Retrieve the package and flee to your room. You cannot abscond. The pesky guardian is blocking your path. You will need to engineer some sort of distraction. And now he brandishes yet another artifact of confection. The man is ruthless. You'd better brace for impact in the most comedically striking fashion possible. Equip disguise for defense. The Beagle Aegis absorbs the brunt of the treat. It looks like Dad will enjoy the prankster's gambit on that exchange, as is usually the case. Captcha-log the pie tin. You take the pie tin and unequip the Beaglepuss. Everything in your Silodex is pushed back a card. The smoke pellets are ejected from the deck. Yes, this could be just the distraction you were... Nothing happens. What a huge letdown. Take the cake. When two great forces oppose each other, the victory will go to the one that knows how to yield. Oscar Wilde. Wise words by a man who likely could resist everything but temptation. The cake forces Colonel Sassacre's text out of your Silodex. Oscar Wilde was the best, though. I friggin' love that dude. Sassacre, you beautiful bastard. Now's your chance. Abscond. Now that Dad is busy placating the smoke detector, you can safely sneak away. Take the PDA. You snag your dad's PDA. Maybe later you'll switch the background image with something hilarious as a prank. Besides, it may come in handy later. Your spare captcha-log card is forced out of the Silodex and consequently integrated with the deck. You now have 5 cards to work with. Take package. This red package is addressed to you. Take envelope. You got the Spurb Beta. Exit kitchen. Get cake on couch. You captcha-log the cake from the couch, expelling the pie tin from the bottom card. Combine the cakes to make a double-decker cake. You then merge the 2 cakes across all 5 cards. Everything in your Silodex is smushed between the cakes. Why don't you think these things through first? Retreat upstairs. You pause at the juncture and head down the hall. You're going to need something to clean up the mess you are about to make by dissecting this cake. To the left is the bathroom. To the right is your dad's room. It is locked and you are forbidden from ever entering. He has secrets. Go to the bathroom and grab a towel. You enter the bathroom. You can see your backyard from the window. The jewel in its crown, the swing set, which has provided you with years of joy. There is also a spring-mounted pogo ride, which has been responsible for more than one painful injury, and has provided you with years of lament. It's Slimer-themed. Legally distinct Slimer, though, so Ghostbusters can't sue Andrew Hussey for using their property. Even though he totally used a PNG of it earlier. Anyway. On the sink is your dad's razor. On the rack to the side is a fresh towel. Remove PDA, envelope, and package from cake. You take the razor and use it to perform surgery on the cake. You take the towel and clean off the extracted goods. Retrieve your items. The items force the manhandled cake into the toilet, and just like that, your Silodex is full again. God, this thing is annoying. Go to bedroom. Admire failure to launch poster. A Time to Kill, failure to launch, something with Jodie Foster and Matthew McConaughey that I can't read because he's got other posters over it. You're not usually into chick flicks, but Matthew McConaughey's cool charisma could salvage any heap of smoldering wreckage. This is your McConaughey wall, a casual shrine to an amazing actor. The film above that one is a lot better, you think. Can you see her? I want you to picture that little girl, chokes up. Now imagine she's white. What movie is that from? You got us, Matthew. Your smooth talking exposed our latent racism. Damn, you are good. Oh, it's another flash I'm gonna have to find. Check Pester Chum. Show Pester Log. Here we go. Display capture. Was I supposed to be reading that? Hang on, that's probably in the text on the page, right? A second. Do not autoplay. Guardian Gnostic began pestering ectobiologist at 1634. Hi, happy birthday, John. Hello? Okay, I'll talk to you later. GG ceased pestering EB. TG began pestering EB at 1640. Hey, GG is looking for you. Why are you even so popular all of a sudden? Is today some sort of special occasion or something? Did you do something to curry favor with the ladies? Did you break your leg on a puppy or some shit? Dude, what are you doing? TG is now an idle chum. I discovered a comet that is going to destroy the Earth, and it was named after me. Now I am famous. Everyone wants to talk to me a lot. No, stop. Just no. Don't talk about your awful, stupid movies or make references to them. Your gross man-bro crush on Matt McConaughey is an unsavory thing to behold. McConaughey. Sounds like some noise a horse would make, i.e., dumb. Equally dumb are all those pictures of that clown you've got hanging up. Those are my dad's. I was talking about Nick Cage. Oh, what? No, man, Cage is sweet. So sweet? So lame. You don't even like him ironically or anything. This is like for real, isn't it? I do things ironically sometimes. What about what I sent you for your birthday? No, those are awesome. What? No, they're stupid. Which was the joke? The ironic joke. Get it? Wait, you're actually wearing them, aren't you? I'm wearing them ironically because they are awesome. The fact that they're ironic makes them awesome, and vice versa. Are you taking notes on how to be cool? Jesus, get a fucking pen. You do realize they touched Stiller's weird sort of gaunt face at some point. Ew, yeah. Oh well. Anyway, speaking of which, did you get the mail? Yeah. Did there happen to be a package there? Yeah, there's a big red one. You should probably open it. I would, but it's trapped under the Spurb beta, so I will probably open it after I install the beta. Oh man, the beta came? Yeah, wanna play it? No way. Why not? It sounds so hell's boring. Just get TT to play it. She's all about that. Where'd she go? Her internet is blinking in and out, I guess. Probably be back online soon. Oh, and Christ in a sidecar, are you still using the stack modus? Seriously, dude? You need to bone up on your data structures. That shit is just ridiculous. Okay, I will. Open browser and go to mspaintadventures.com. You decide to space out on the computer for a while before doing anything important. You open the Typeface web browser and direct it to what is indisputably the most amazing website ever created. This is an actual comic from the website that this comic used to be hosted on. Let me just check something. Yeah, I turned off display capture. The new adventure is okay, but you're not sure if you like it as much as the last one. Yeah, they had Bard Quest, which was pretty funny. I don't know if it was ever finished. They had Problem Sleuth, which was pretty crazy. I don't know if it was ever finished. And then there's the Midnight Crew, which if I forget if that was its own comic or if it was made specifically to be a tie-in to this one, because all of these characters are going to be relevant way, way further down in the story. Install the Spurb beta. You decide it's time for less meta and more beta. You insert the CD and install the Spurb beta. Spurb version 0.01. Skyanet Systems Incorporated, all rights reserved. Spurb client is running, waiting for server to establish connection. What the fuck is this? Bone up on data structures. Oh no! Ghost Dad. That has not aged well. Data structures, discrete mathematics, cake, ATH, DIS, Automata. You go to your closet where you keep a lot of clothes and an array of handy computer programming guides. Read Data Structures book. Data Structures for Assholes. I think my rage just crapped its pants. Your ignorance just made me throw up a little. Get a clue, you computer illiterate piece of shit. Free Fetch Modus in Back. By Buckminster Funny Uncle. You're not sure you really want to dig into this huge tome. It looks really boring and kind of ornery. Maybe you'll just check out that free modus instead. Get a free fetch modus. Fetch modus. FIFO. Q. You turn to the back inside cover where a free fetch modus is included in a plastic sleeve. This one is dictated by the logic of a queue data structure, operating on a first in, first out method rather than a first in, last out method of stack. I feel like you have to understand coding for this. Apply fetch modus to Sylladex. Items capture logged in your Sylladex are no longer immediately accessible. You can only use the item on the bottom card and must wait for items on the upper cards to be pushed back to it. For instance, the red package is now inaccessible. You can only use the razor at the moment. This modus doesn't strike you as a significant upgrade to your previous one. In fact, it almost seems more inconvenient. You figure you might as well give it a chance, though. Switch back to stack modus. You suddenly wonder if this is even possible. You don't even remember if you ever had a physical card for the stack modus. You find this all to be a little abstract, and you'd prefer not to think about it too much. Put down razor. Put it down? You're not quite sure you understand. Pick up 2 items. You capture log one of the cakes. You finally found a use for all these loitering pastries. Dead weight. Get another cake. The second cake causes the razor to launch out the front of your Sylladex. Oh, good lord. That beautiful face. You wish the razor would have failed to launch. Get more stuff. You open your magic chest and capture log one of your favorite books of all time, Wise Guy by Mike Cavney. There goes the fresh towel. Might as well grab those cuffs. You take trick handcuffs, expelling the PDA like a bullet. Window broken. Oh, god damn it. John, open up that package. To EB from TG. You examine the package. It is from one of your internet chums. It's bound in packing tape, though. You'll need something sharp to open it. Ah, of course, the razor. It's all so simple, you wonder why you didn't. Get razor. John, pick up package again. Every time he picks something up, something comes flying out like a bullet. Cake. Let's take this from the top. Capture log glass shards. You take 3 glass shards in quick succession and duck for cover. Your Sylladex rains devastation on your room from above, and now that your cards are packed with glass, you probably don't want to do that again anytime soon. You should probably get that stuff before you forget. Use razor on the red package. You open the package. There is something suspicious inside. Something suspiciously dirty and smelly. It is a stuffed bunny, much like the one held hostage briefly by Malkovich's Cyrus the Virus while taunting hard luck protagonist Cameron Poe, and strikingly similar to the one scooped up from the soot of a burning Vegas strip by Cage's Poe and offered to his daughter, a gesture symbolic of a tattered exterior surrounding a heart of gold. Poe wasn't much to look at, but he was a good man. But no, this is not merely like that bunny. According to this note of authenticity, it is the very same bunny. This is so awesome. So Dave sent him the rabbit from the Nick Cage movie Con Air. Check status of the Spurb beta. It looks like your computer is trying to get your attention. Look at monitor. Spurb version 0.01, Skynet Systems Incorporated, all rights reserved. Spurb client is running. A Spurb host user is attempting to connect with you. Client has established connection with host. Press enter when ready. Check pester chum window. TT began pestering EB at 17:08. So it's 5:08 p.m. right now, I think. It looks like you've managed to retrieve the beta. Excellent. I'm going to try to connect. Whoa, okay, but I just got the most awesome present. The rabbit. So sweet. I've heard tales of this wretched creature often. Its Homeric legend is practically ensconced in the fold of my personal mythology by now. What? Why don't we focus on the matter at hand? Oh, the game. Okay. I don't really know how this works. What am I even looking at here? You are running the client application. I am running the server, so I am the host user. I have established a connection with you. This is sufficient for us to play the game. Oh, okay then. Why don't we get started? John, press enter. Okay, let me see if I can find that one. There it is. Okay. Display capture off. I forget if all of the music was composed by Toby or if some of it was composed by Andrew. Andrew Hussey being the author of this comic, Toby Fox being the guy who did some of the music and also more famously made Undertale and Deltarune. Now hold on a minute. What's this one? Mouse over the interface buttons. TT, select Magic Chest. So basically, TT, the girl he was talking to on the computer, can now control the objects in his room like it's The Sims. TT, zoom out. Really? Drop chest. Show pester log. Whoa, what are you doing? Sorry, I'm just getting a feel for the controls. Is my magic chest on the roof now? Yes. Frowny face. I will try to be more careful next time. Get the card. You find your missing stack fetch modus and quickly reapply it to your Sylladex. Now you can opt for either stack or queue modus anytime. You toggle between your fetch modi with gleeful abandon. He's got a Mac and Me poster. It looks like your dad is leaving again for more baking supplies. You're relieved to have the house to yourself again, if only for a few minutes. You just hope he doesn't notice the magic chest on the roof, or all of the shit you threw out the window for that matter. TT, select stuff in yard and move it back to the room. Okay, from here on out, the names at the bottom of the links are important because that tells you which character's POV you're switching to. Show pester log. Hey, do you think you could do me a favor? Can you grab all that stuff outside my broken window and bring it in for me? I'll give it a shot. Thanks. No luck. It appears to be out of range. I'm guessing it's too far away from you, the player. Frowny face. Select John. You cannot select a player. John abjures the meddlesome cursor. Select Bunny. Put the bunny back in the box. Revise room. It really is like The Sims. Open Fernelia registry. Deploy totem lathe. Okay, so crafting shit. John, examine totem lathe. You don't know what the heck this thing does, but it looks neat. TT, open grist cache. It seems expanding the dimensions of your room cost us some build grist, but deploying the lathe did not appear to incur any expense. It looks like certain objects are freebies, probably to help you set up the game. Wow, okay, what do they do? I think it's up to you to find out. All I can do is drop stuff in your house and move it around, apparently. How do I move stuff around? It sounds fun. I don't think you can, as the client. You will need to install the server application. You should have received both in separate envelopes. I am running both on my computer right now. What? Did you get another envelope in the mail? No. Once you install the server and establish a connection, I'm sure you will be able to manipulate my environment in the same manner. Are you sure you didn't get it? Oh man, I think I might know where it is. In his dad's car. His dad who just drove away. Now that your room is bigger, why don't you move to the far corner? It'll extend the range of the cursor and I can reach the items. Which you threw out the window for some reason? Good idea. What have you been doing in here all afternoon anyway? I was fussing with my Arsler Silodex, but I think I have it under control now. What modus do you use? I like to use trees. Oh no, that sounds so awkward. It's not exceptionally practical, but I think they are elegant. Stand in corner. Deploy Cruxtruder. Deploy Cruxtruder. Okay, that's another build thing. Deploy Alchemitor. Why is the floor shaking? Are you dropping off more stuff in my house? Yes, 2 more large gizmos. Sweet. What's with all these big contraptions? If I had to guess, they appear to facilitate some sort of system involving punch card-based alchemy. Huh? To what end? I mean, what are we supposed to be doing in this game? That remains to be seen. Maybe you should go investigate? Get PDA. Serious business. The following matters have been submitted in a frank and forthright manner for Pipe Fan 413's judicious appraisal. Gracelax66 decided to return home for fresh tie. Soiled tie will be laundered immediately upon return. Well-pressed attire. Use ballpoint pen to roll up tip of cloth. Extract pen. Press rolled cloth against ceramic surface, e.g. restroom sink. In future, consider repositioning hat, hook, and or coffee pot. Office Urchin 1280. Photographic documentation of incident. Gracelax66 was posturing unevenly to reach for hat on wall hook. Tip of tie slipped in mouth of pot. Duration of dunk approximately 3 seconds. PL Elab on incident. Need counsel on removing coffee from necktie. Incident occurred 45 seconds ago. Beverage essences rapidly setting into fabric. Okay, I read that backwards. You grab the PDA, switching back to stack modus so it's readily accessible. The interface is oddly sterile. No hilarious clown wallpapers or anything like that. Oops, you mean Harlequin wallpapers. The serious business application is open. It seems your dad uses it to keep tabs on various acquaintances. His fellow street performers, maybe? You guess the performing arts must be pretty serious business after all. Install Pester Chum. This should be useful. Now you can keep tabs on your chums while you wander around the house. Go out to balcony. Hey, I'm out on the balcony now. I'm messaging you from my dad's PDA. The one you threw into the yard? No, I am telling you, it jumped out of my Silodex like a frightened weasel. What were you doing with it in the first place? I am not sensing a lot of regard for the personal property of others. Is this how your pent-up frustration with your father manifests itself? What? No, those were all accidents. Please take your psycho babblery elsewhere, miss. Your bathroom is a mess. Did you do that too? Oh man, see, this isn't cool. All this snooping nonsense. There's cake in the toilet. Yes, there is. I'm tempted to clean it up for you. Okay, if that'll satisfy your weird OCD complex, then go ahead. My obsessive compulsive disorder complex? Can a disorder also be a complex? In your case, probably. Sounds complicated. Anyway, I am going to have a look at this enormous platformy thing you put on the balcony. Examine alchemeter in a cautious manner. You have no idea what to do with this thing. You can't find any controls for it. Having exhausted all other possibilities, you just decide to stand on it. This isn't very cautious of you, actually. Look through telescope. It's a clear sunny day. Nothing out of the ordinary to report, at least not beyond the walls of your own home. TT, grab the soiled toilet. Whoops. Whoops what? She just unplumbed his toilet. And dropped it in the yard. What was that noise? Is this something I should go investigate? No, I have it under control. You can keep playing with your telescope. Investigate. Ugh. I think I can patch it up. Just give me a little space. Why don't you go have a look at the Cruxtruder? The what? The thing I put in your living room. Hop down the hole. You jump down the hole to the utility room. Get sledgehammer and card. Strife Specibus, hammer kind. You take the sledgehammer and the captcha log card, combine the two, and quickly apply it to your Strife Specibus. You think it's cool that things don't always have to be a federal fucking issue. It looks like another one of your chums is pestering you on your PDA. Answer chum. GG began pestering ectobiologist at 1725. How should I make Jade sound? Shit. John, did you get my package? Oh, hey. No, not yet. Darn, are you sure? It was in a green box. Oh, yes, but it's in my dad's car and he is still out at the store. He should be back soon. Great. So what are you up to today? I am up to my neck in this spurb stuff. TT is making a royal mess of my house. LOL. What's spurb? Oh, it's this game? It's okay, I guess. I'm still figuring it out. Whoa, what was that? What was what? There was this loud noise outside my house. It sounded like an explosion. Wow, really? I will go outside and look. Oh man, alright. Be careful, okay? I will. Smiley face. GG ceased pestering ectobiologist at 5:28. Might as well check out the Cruxtruder. Oh, hell no. You put this thing in front of the door? There's a door there? Yeah? I didn't see it. I just thought it fit nicely into that groove. You mean you thought it was elegant? Okay, well, what do I do with this thing? Hello? What are you doing up there now? Not the bathtub! Oh, fuck. Examine wheel on the Cruxtruder. When you turn the wheel, something seems to be pushing up from underneath the lid, but you aren't strong enough to make the lid come off. Put the bathtub in the driveway. On the tub's journey to the driveway, the connection is interrupted. John, scold TT. I remember this now. You can see me, right? Tell me what is wrong with this picture. Sorry, I keep losing the wireless signal. It must be the weather. I would look for a stronger signal in another part of the house, but I'd rather not risk an encounter with my mother. I battled through her cloud of gin and derision once already this evening. Yeah, I hear you. Yes, cake, jesters, and unfaltering love and support. Quite a road to hoe there. Though I suppose I'm complicit for not informing social services about your situation. I know. What about going outside? Maybe you could catch a neighbor's signal? That presents the same problem. Also, it's raining, remember? And dark. It's dark already? Yes, the sun has already had its way with us here on the East Coast. Its lurid glare has moved on to younger time zones. Okay. Hit Cruxtruder with the sledgehammer. Need some help? TT, pick up sledgehammer. Okay, okay. What was this one? It would really help if all of these had titles. So they hit the machine, and now there's a timer on it. What is this thing? And what is that clock counting down to? I've been looking at the GameFAQ walkthroughs to figure out some of this stuff. Hold on while I read further. Okay. All of these walkthroughs are extremely short. None progress much further than this point. Weird. Well, I mean, it is a new game. True. Now that the lid is off, you will need to extrude some cruxite. Turn the wheel again. Get cruxite. Show pester log. I feel like we should be hurrying. That countdown is making me nervous. John? Oh, your PDA is trapped under the cruxite now, isn't it? Anyway, it looks like you are going to need this card, too. Deploy pre-punched card. John, get card. A shard of glass is expelled from the deck and maims the Harlequin doll. Capture log fanciful Harlequins. You take 2 fanciful Harlequins. The additional useless freight pushes your PDA to the last card. You then switch to the Q modus so you can access the PDA. More glass shrapnel flies from the deck. This thing keeps following me around. I think it's trying to talk to me or something. That is probably the kernel sprite. It apparently needs to be prototyped. Twice, actually. Whatever the hell that means. These walkthroughs are horrendously written. Okay. Well, you're the one with the cursor, so just do whatever you think is the right thing to do. Also, fix my bathroom. Drop mained Harlequin into kernel sprite. Harlequin. Okay, let me see. Kernel sprites. Yeah, okay, there it is. Just a warning, this is kind of flashy. I guess I'll let the song play off. Take a sip of my coffee. Nice. Harlequin by Mark Hadley. Okay, he composed that. Now it's speaking in runes. I still can't understand this thing's gobbledygook. That was only Tier 1 prototyping. There is still another tier to the prototyping process, which for all we know merely advances this entity through increasingly esoteric states of linguistics. The clock is ticking. We don't have time for this asinine tomfoolery. This unmitigated puppycock? Extravagant hogwash. Okay, stop. Stop typing whatever silly thing you're typing. I'm going upstairs to the big platformy thing, the alchemeter. Huh? Try to learn the lingo. John, use pre-punched card with the alchemeter. There is no slot for a card anywhere to be found on the alchemeter. The kernel sprite followed you upstairs. TT, explore Athenium. Acquiring a Cruxite dowel seems to have populated the Athenium with one item, a perfectly generic object. Capture log telescope. Ah, there's a bot. Ban. Capture log telescope. There goes the PDA. You snatch the telescope from its tripod. Who knows, it might be useful, but more importantly, it pushes the Cruxite to the last card, making it available for tinkering. The PDA is predictably jettisoned into the yard over the neighbor's fence. Put Cruxite on weird pattern on alchemeter. You place the Cruxite dowel on the alchemeter's small pedestal. Something is happening. You set the alchemeter to cast 3 perfectly generic objects for some reason, expending a total of 6 units of build grist. These things look completely useless. What a waste. Out of the corner of your eye, you notice there's something in the sky. Switch modus and use telescope to inspect sky. You switch back to stack modus and get a closer look with your telescope. Whatever it is, the Colonel Sprite seems particularly agitated about it. 3 minutes and 9 seconds, 3 minutes and 8 seconds, 3 minutes and 7 seconds. Yeah, I think you get the idea. You're no astronomer, but its trajectory looks suspiciously head-on with your current perspective. This is a troubling development. High five, Colonel Sprite. You figure you've left him hanging long enough. Attempt to ingest a unit of build grist. It is tempting because they strongly resemble rock and blue raspberry gushers. However, units of build grist are a gaming abstraction and do not seem to exist on the physical plane. There is apparently no crisis so imminent that will deter you from contemplating idiotic and frivolous actions. You're goddamn right there isn't. Your dad is getting home. John, what did you do with your PDA this time? I'm working on the bathroom, but we are running low on build grist. TT, revise bathroom. Good start. Huh? Huh? John, run to your room and contact TT through Pester Chum. 2 chums have been trying to message you. Answer chums. I'm working on the bathroom, but we are running low on build grist. Oh man, who cares about the bathroom? Now there's a meteor heading for my house. I see. Do you suppose it has anything to do with the game? I don't know, maybe. What do I do? I think it's very likely. The walkthroughs vaguely suggest an impending threat before they end. The already poorly constructed sentences become even more curt and ambiguous, as if written hastily and with a sense of alarm. Actually, their dedication to updating the walkthrough under such circumstances is admirable. Wow, fascinating! Question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. If the meteor is a game construct, I think the only thing to do is proceed and try to solve the dilemma on the game's terms. Try using the lathe. It says that you can use the card on it, but it isn't more specific than that. Okay, I'll do that. Really, it is a labor to read this drivel. If I read any more, my brain will need to be spoon-fed from a jar, while it blows spit bubbles in a high chair. I think I will write my own walkthrough. That is, after we make sure you don't die. TG began pestering EB at 5:34. Heard you got the box. Hope you appreciate my heroic fatherly perseverance in getting it to you. In my rough and tumble, dirty, wife-beatery sort of way. Also, I hope you appreciate how many no-talent douches got their mitts on that bunny before you. It's like a grubby baton in some huge douchebag marathon. Hey, where are you? Oh man, the bunny was awesome, but I don't have time to talk. I'm playing Spurb, and it's kind of a nightmare. TT is breaking everything in my house. Dude, I told you to steer clear of that game. And for that matter, you should probably wash your hands of flighty broads and their snarky horseshit altogether. And now there's a meteor coming, and I'm not even joking about that. It's like a big asteroid or comet or something in the sky, heading right for my house. Oh man, how big is it? I don't know, big, I guess? I gotta go. We'll talk later if I'm still alive and the Earth isn't blown up. Like, the size of Texas? Or just Rhode Island? They're always throwing around these geographical comparisons to give us a sense of scale, like it really means anything to us. But it's like, it doesn't matter. It's always just like, wow, that's pretty fucking big. Like, Mr. President, there's a meteor coming, sir. Oh yeah? How big is it? It's the size of Texas, sir. Oh shit? Or, how big is it? It's the size of New York City, sir. Oh shit? Sir, I'm afraid the comet is the size of your mom's dick. Oh snap! Sir, are you familiar with Jupiter? You mean like the planet? Yeah. Well, this is that, sir. That sounds pretty big. I have a question. Is it Jupiter? Yes, sir. The Earth is literally under siege by planet fucking Jupiter. Oh, shit? Anyway, later. I'm so glad I got to do that part without laughing. I mean, not until the end, anyway. That's one of the few things that I distinctly remember from this. It's pretty iconic. Use pre-punched card on Totem Lathe. You slip the pre-punched card into a slot on the Totem Lathe. Above the tool arm deploys a configuration of chisels. Now you just need something to lathe. Take Cruxite Totem Lathe. 2 Totem Lathe, okay. Cursing your lack of foresight, you return to the balcony for the Cruxite dowel you left on the pedestal. You navigate the hallway, leery of your dad, who is presently puzzling over the new fixture in the hallway. The perfect crime. It just set it back on the ground, completely unplumbed in. No one will ever know. You retrieved the Cruxite dowel. Dad just shrugs and heads back downstairs, presumably to do some more baking. If only he knew you were hard at work saving his ass. John, use the Cruxite dowel on the Totem Lathe. You clamp the Cruxite in the lathe. Activate lathe. Cool, you got a thing. The lathe carves 1 totem. You take the totem. Alright, I used the lathe to make this blue shapey thing. Now I guess I take it back to the alchemixer again? Hello? TT is no longer connected. Connection lost. Now John is trapped in his room. 2 minutes and 9 seconds. And this is Rose. A young lady stands in her bedroom. Due to a violent storm, her house has just lost power, along with her wireless internet connection. This has severed her link to the popular video game she was playing with a young man at a critical moment. That young man is relying on this young lady to reestablish a connection somehow. This young lady named... It's on the tip of your tongue. What was the name of this young lady again? Enter name. Flighty Broad. No, that wasn't it. One more time. Rose Lalonde. Examine room. Your name is Rose. As was previously mentioned, you are without electricity, although your laptop computer still functions on battery power. You have a variety of interests. You have a passion for rather obscure literature. You enjoy creative writing and are somewhat secretive about it. You have a fondness for the bestially strange and fictitious, and sometimes dabble in psychoanalysis. You also like to knit, and your room is a bit of a mess. And on occasion, if just the right one strikes your fancy, you like to play video games with your friends. What will you do? Retrieve arms from the purple box. The purple package's contents are private. No one is allowed to look inside. Writhe like a flagellum and puke on your bed. Ugh, what a terrible idea. The thought alone makes you sick to your stomach. Stroke writing journal and mutter, "My precious." You would only resort to such an embarrassing activity while no one was watching. These journals are for your eyes only. Get violin. You capture log the violin, storing it in the root card of your Sylladex. Okay, I know where this is going. Display capture. Like, that's really pretty and all, but John's freaking dying. Anyway, is that turned off? Yeah, it is. Aggrieve, violin refrain, Andrew Huo, and Mark Hadley. Okay. You waste approximately 40 seconds playing the violin while your friend is in peril. Nice time management skills there, sweetheart. John, tell Liv Tyler that you love her before impact. Since your good for nothing friend is obviously not going to bail you out in time, you issue words of parting fondness to dear sweet Liv. Oh, if only Affleck could have been the one to make the final sacrifice instead of her stubborn blue-collar salt of the earth father. Then she would fall into your arms for consolation, and you would be the one to make the deceased Bruce Willis proud. Rose, capture log knitting supply bag. You get the knitting bag. It occupies the left leaf card under the violin, per the tree modus's alphabetical sorting method. K is before V. Rose, look out window. Your panoramic window offers a view of your yard below, and the mausoleum housing your dead cat, Jasper's, who died when you were young. Your mom had the structure erected with a spirit of scornful irony in response to your youthfully innocent request to hold a funeral for the animal. At least, that is how you have come to interpret the gesture in retrospect. You can also make out a silhouette of the laboratory next door, a facility which likely broadcasts a strong wireless internet signal. You may be able to connect to the signal from a different part of the house, perhaps if you seek higher ground. Rose, get laptop. You take your laptop and prepare to make the journey through the house. This causes the tree to be unbalanced, so your Siladex auto-balances itself. Now the laptop occupies the root card, while the other two items comprise the leaves. K is before L, V is after L. Examine book on desk. Grimoire for Summoning the Zoologically Dubious. This book is absolutely indispensable for enthusiasts of your ilk, of which there are very few. Take book. You take the grimoire. G comes before L, G comes before K. Go explore the house. You leave your bedroom. Hanging just next to your door in the hallway is a painting of an exquisite wizard. Your mother collects these awful things ironically. She must know how much you detest them, and there is no doubt in your mind that she stores these dreadful things in the house to bother you. Down the hall to the right is the way to the observatory, and perhaps you will be able to connect from up there. Your mother's room is also in that direction. You will have to watch your step. Tiptoe to observatory. You approach a juncture in the hallway. Beyond the juncture is the observatory. Sneak by. This door leads up to the observatory. You haven't ventured up there in quite some time. Go through door. The door opens to an exterior walkway leading to the observatory entrance. You've seen less inclement weather before. Oh, the things you'll do to help out a friend. Hurry up to that observatory. Try to connect. You first put your laptop down on the floor to get it situated, but removing it from your root card causes all the branches and leaves to be severed. Your items are dumped unceremoniously onto the floor. See what you can observe. That's probably bad. You're in a hurry, sure, but that doesn't mean that you can't take a moment to peek through the huge telescope. You find a gap in the clouds. It seems a flurry of smaller meteoroids is streaking steadily overhead. You're not sure what this means, but it is somewhat disconcerting. Stack laptop on grimoire to maximize elevation. You'll need every advantage you can get. Access laboratory Wi-Fi network. Game facts. There are several signals being broadcasted from the laboratory, each of relatively decent strength. One of them is mysteriously and quite conveniently unsecured, requiring no password. You select the signal and reconnect to the game with John. 40 seconds. I'm back. Hurry up and open my door. Not that it even matters. I think I'm probably dead no matter what. Patience, you still haven't used the new totem. Huh? I believe it will create the item on the punch card. So what is it, like an apple or something? What good will that even do? We'll see. I found no evidence that anyone has successfully created the item, and the content of the card appears to be variable from session to session. In one instance, it was described as an eggy-looking thingin. Do we have enough of those building jewels to make it? According to the Athenium, this is a free item. This speaks to its importance, in my view. Now off you go. Rose, remove door from hinges. There goes the rest of your build, Grist. Rose, put bathtub back. You probably should have done this in the first place. John, take totem to alchemeter. Gotta get those stupid blocks out of the way first. The Colonel Sprite is getting awfully worked up about all this. Remove blocks. You store the perfectly generic objects in your Frenalia registry, potentially to be deployed at a later time. S. John, take a bite of the apple. Okay. Okay, this was the exact moment when I read this the first time that I knew this was going to be awesome. Okay, display capture on. Check this shit out. Years in the future, but end of Act 1. Years in the future, but not many. I forgot about this interlude. A wayward vagabond records a stuttering step in the sun-bleached dust. Game facts. FAQ walkthrough by Tentacle Therapist. FAQ walkthrough by Sanctuary Remix. FAQ walkthrough by Winnie the Poop 2. FAQ walkthrough by Chaos Demon. Notice none of these are people who have completed the game. Spur Beta Walkthrough, version 1.0, April 13th, 2009, by Tentacle Therapist. Table of contents. Number 1, caveats and condolences. 2, walkthrough, incomplete. Caveats and condolences. I'd be inclined to dispense with the trites, even under less pressing circumstances. Needless to say, I'll forego the inscrutable SE banner, which typically heralds the striking freefall of these documents. I'll also resist the urge to brandish any copyright marks or the particular neurosis that concerns itself with the theft of the utterly mundane. I'll allow other deranged prospectors to stake claims on their worthless plots as the woods burn around them. My introduction will be sparse. There will be no majestic prose. What are you doing now, then? There will be no majestic prose blustering into the sails of a galleon as we embark on this voyage together, nor will there be any ham-fisted prose whipping its limbs under a bedsheet like a Arsler ghost, for that matter. I won't set the stage or dim the lights. The mood, you will see, will be set soon enough. Since you are reading this, chances are you have installed this game on your computer already. If this is true, like many others, you have just participated in bringing about the end of the world. But don't beat yourself up about it. There was never anything you could have done to prevent it. The end is happening right now as I type and as you read. I have come to understand we were always doomed through our collective ignorance, and now further doomed by those few who know, and struggling to flee. If you're lucky, you'll be among the smaller subset of the latter who are successful. What I mean is, while that game you installed is just one more grinding slab of rock sealing our planet's crypt, it is also your only hope to live. I am presently faced with the same conundrum as you, and though I speak with more experience, my own outcome is far from assured. I will play the game, as much of it as there is to play, and record my findings here. If you want to live, you will do as I instruct. My condolences, TT. What comes after this one? Go back. Go back. Let me see. I have to do some detective work now. That one's not till way later. Hang on, maybe this person has a playlist. Oh, there we go. Oh, cool, this is all of them in order. Actually, some of these might be missing. Let me just check something real quick. Okay, I guess they don't have all of them archived. That's fine, we're not missing much with this one. Boy. What is left of the sprite undergoes a mysterious transformation. For a moment, you thought you heard someone say, boy, as if whispered in the periphery of your awareness. It was probably just your imagination, though. You there, boy. Okay. Somebody else must have posted that one. Yep. Why is this one 3 minutes long? Okay. Just gonna roll with it. Click this. To walk around, use the mouse arrow keys or WSD keys. Click various objects to open command menus. Okay, I remember this part was somewhat interactive then. It's a large platform. The alchemitter created the apple, or the tree that sprouted it, rather. Right on time to save you from destruction. You're not sure if you can say the same for your neighborhood, though. You wonder what happened to your dad. So John's house has been teleported into the game. Examine the strange blue face thing. It is the piece of cruxite you carved with the totem lathe. When its contours were scanned, the alchemitter was able to produce that tree. How odd. What is that? It looks different now. After you bit that apple, your whole house seemed to be transported somewhere. Then the apple disappeared and the kernel sprite underwent a transformation. Aside from the change in its appearance, the transformation doesn't seem to have any relevant ramifications. You still can't understand a word this thing says. A word this idiot says. The ghost clown, do something with it. The ghost clown is called the kernel sprite, or rather, just the sprite now, I suppose. You can't do something with it at the moment. The only thing you can theoretically do with it is Tier 2 prototype it, assuming that's still possible. Use this to reseal. If only putting the lid back on the Cruxtruder would undo all it's done. Alas, Pandora's tube has been opened. Move this absurd edifice. This thing weighs a ton. You'd honestly be surprised if the game cursor could lift it, or at least not without significant expense of grist. Of all the places for Rose to drop the infernal thing, more than ever you feel, what's the word you're looking for? Of course, house-trapped. This way through the doors. Open this door now. In the garage. Or the laundry room. Exit, boy. So for all intents and purposes, his house and the little bit of land around it is just floating in a void right now. I think that's all that you can find here. Yeah. That's the general idea. Boy, quit all the scurrying around. For the last time, this boy's name is John. Fine, John, return to your quarters. You go back up to your bedroom, tiptoeing around this weird petroleum-based sludge. Now, John, respond to your friend unit. John, are you there? TT is now an idle chum. Hey, yeah, I'm here, and not dead, I think. I know, I've been watching you scramble through the house like a lunatic. You should have answered me sooner. Oh man, sorry, I was looking around for my dad, and I can't find him anywhere. Have you seen him? No, I'm sure he'll turn up. We have more important things to address right now. Yeah, like where am I? I don't know that either, but I've determined your neighborhood was destroyed by the meteor. Wherever you were transported, it saved you from the impact. I've been reading reports in the news. Over the last few days, there have been many smaller meteor collisions with people's homes around the world, and they seem to be getting bigger. Yours was the biggest that we've identified so far. Wow, okay, so then, I guess if this is all the game's doing, then the point is for us to save the world? Perhaps. Then we'd better get moving and figure this game out. Yes, but wait. We should retrieve your PDA. Yet again. It will help to keep tabs on each other while you investigate. I think I can get you closer to it if I can replenish our grist supply somewhat. There may be a way to recycle some that we already used. Okay. I'll meet you out on the balcony. Wait, Rose, one thing. What? You never even wished me happy birthday. Hello? I was working on something to send you, but I was running late with it. I didn't want you to think I believed meager well wishes alone would suffice for the occasion. That said, happy birthday, John. Oh geez, that is silly. Anyway, thanks. First, take the fabric item on the floor there. The towel? Why? Oh well, you're the boss. You capture log the towel. What now? Okay, there's two narrators now. One is talking in all caps. Do as the purple text says, to the balcony. John makes his way to the balcony per your awkwardly worded request. Wait, take that blue wobbly thing. You whimsically decide to capture log the totem, which was used to create the apple tree earlier. John, recycle the grist as was dictated by your cohort. John cannot do anything with the grist as of this moment. That is up to the Spurb player. I see. Arrow question mark? Yes, that will suffice. Rose deletes the perfectly generic objects. 6 units of build grist are restored to your grist cache. Rose expends the grist to drag a new plank from the balcony in the direction of the PDA. John, run across the precarious platform swiftly. John isn't sure about that. It's a long way down. Boy, I said make haste on the narrow catwalk. John is very nervous about the idea, and the strident tone of your commands is starting to make him a little upset. Fine, proceed as your level of comfort dictates. You cautiously walk within range of the PDA. Rose retrieves it. Now, take it. You grab the PDA, launching one of the Harlequin figurines into the night. You can kiss that one goodbye. Serious business. Well-pressed attire. Time question mark. Submitting inquiry of concern over cataclysmic event. Pipefan413, reply. Grayslacks 66. Status of health, wardrobe. Neighboring house struck by flaming projectile. In light of fire hazard, evacuating house of all expensive garments. GL Fedora Freak, salvage as many hats as is practical. Fedora Freak, you are in our thoughts along with Pipe Fan 413 and his available collection of pipes. TY All, report. Most hats removed from danger. Ties, next. The following matters have been submitted in a frank and forthright manner for Pipe Fan 413's judicious appraisal. Judicious appraisal. Just one command will suffice, thanks. It looks like you're not the only one trying to locate your father after the disaster. These boring men are uninteresting. Show Pester log. John, are you okay? You seem a bit tentative. I'm fine, I guess. Since I got here, I feel compelled to do these weird things I don't really want to do. By some kind of voice that I can't really even hear. I don't know, it's hard to explain. Perhaps the early symptoms of an anxiety disorder, like post-traumatic stress? Yeah, maybe. Who knows? Well, if you can pull yourself together, there are a few more things we should try, like prototyping the kernel sprite again, if possible. We should hurry. My laptop battery won't last forever. Okay, I will go back inside. No, don't do that. Hop off this ledge onto that car. What? No, that sounds incredibly dangerous. Now you're just being a pest. Which turnip truck did you just tumble out of anyway? Who are you? Years in the future, but not many. An unsealed tunnel welcomes the hot desert air into its stagnant depths. Game facts. An examination of the basics. Upon connecting with the client user, you, the server user, will be met with a control panel, allowing you to manipulate your co-player's environment. You will find that you are allowed to deploy 4 items at no expense. 3 of these are rather large machines, and 1 is a punch card. It is quite possible that you have already deployed some of these items before reading this. If this is the case, you have activated the machine called the Cruxtruder, such that it displays a countdown. You must proceed to section A100 of this walkthrough immediately. The life of the client user depends on it, and if your co-player has activated this device in your environment too, then yours does as well. But if not, please refrain from doing anything with the Cruxtruder aside from merely deploying it. This will buy us some time to think things through properly, and to go over the basics of the game before you find your soft, easily punctured head in the jaws of the lion. As mentioned, there are 4 items to consider, each playing a role in a process which appears to have a singular purpose, to manufacture objects out of thin air. The designers of the game, judging by the language used, regard this process as a sort of alchemy. This may allude to the complexities in the production process yet to present themselves, but for now, the variety of objects you are able to create remains quite limited. The items in question are the Cruxtruder, again, tread lightly with this one, the Totem Lathe, and the Alchemeter, and the pre-punched card. I will describe how these devices work in conjunction with each other, and I will use the analogy of having a key made at a hardware store to help you understand. First, deploy all of these objects in convenient proximity to each other. Be sure not to block doors or pathways with them. You can always revise the dimensions of rooms to make space for them, but I'd advise against this or even experimenting with the function. Doing so comes at the expense of build grist, a commodity which appears to be at premium on the onset, and one that you'd be best advised to save for later. The Cruxtruder. Removing the lid signals the moment your life becomes a great, whirling, batshit pandemonium, somewhat resembling the chaos of an especially... What the fuck, Rose? The chaos of an especially ethnic wedding? Is Rose racist? Somewhere, a soused uncle deliberately shatters china on the floor. Muddy livestock is... Wait, is this a reference to My Big Fat Greek Wedding? Muddy livestock is decorated and then lost track of. The question of whose mule is this at times can be heard over the din. This is now your reality. But aside from that, it marks the beginning of the process I'm about to describe. The countdown begins, yes. Also, an entity called the Kernel Sprite is released, but neither of these things are all that relevant to this process, to my knowledge. More on these things later. What is relevant is the unlidded Cruxtruder's ability to dispense Cruxite dowels. It will dispense at least 1, though I suspect it is capable of producing more given the parameters I am not yet familiar with. In my key-making analogy, these dowels represent uncarved pieces of metal which the hardware store employee retrieves from a drawer or a rack and sets about carving into a key. The 2 following items are needed to do the carving. The pre-punched card. It is a simple Siladex card containing an item. There is evidence to suggest the specific item it contains is variable from session to session. The card I deployed contained a blue apple. Yours may be different. It shouldn't matter. Hopefully. Additionally, the card you may guess is punched, like one used with antique computing systems. The pattern of holes comprises data, which I believe corresponds to the instructions for creating the item the card contains. That is... This is a lot, holy shit. That is, imprinting it with the data from the item it contains, though no mechanism for this has presented itself yet. But the data on the card cannot be used to create the item directly. There is a middleman. That middleman is the totem lathe. The totem lathe. This is essentially the key carving machine. It'll carve your Cruxite dowel into a pattern of grooves and contours, the sort which makes a key unique. The instructions for this pattern are supplied by the punch card, which is inserted into the lathe pre-activation to configure its chisels. Once the dowel is carved, you have a totem serving as your key, which can then be used to unlock the card item through the alchemeter. But at this point, I will diverge from my key-making analogy and switch to a barcode analogy, which is not a terribly strenuous leap to make, since the concepts of a key and a barcode are essentially the same, one being a unique pattern of grooves, the other of varying black lines. The alchemeter. If you place a Cruxite dowel, carved or uncarved, on the alchemeter's small pedestal, its robotic arm will scan the contours with a laser. Hence the barcode analogy. This is the machine's way of reading the data originally imprinted from the card and transforming that data into a physical object, though typically this is not done without expense. I believe an uncarved dowel results in the creation of a perfectly generic object, which is a seemingly useless green cube. It costs 2 units of build grist to make, and I do not advise you to waste resources on it. There appears to be many other varieties of grist ostensibly used in combinations to create different sorts of items, which possibly offers some insight into the game's use of the term alchemy. But quite conveniently, there is an exception to this. Creating the item on the pre-punched card costs nothing. This is good because creating this item turns out to be essential. Now that you know this, you can in your own time begin the process. Once you initiate it, naturally there is no going back, so best to be prepared. But you probably shouldn't drag your feet too long. As I mentioned earlier, this is your only means of escape. When you're ready, be prepared to follow steps in the next section swiftly. A100. So your Cruxtruder is ticking. Do this to live. Yep, that looks pretty bad. In the distance, meteorites fall with greater frequency. The fire in the forest burns so hot, not even the rain is putting it out. Check status of battery. Your laptop battery is alright for now, but it won't be for long. If the power in the house doesn't come back on, you can think of one last resort. The small backup generator stored behind the mausoleum. Prototype sprite with Betty Crocker box. What? Oh man, you're gonna use that? That sucks. What a stupid idea. We have to hurry along. I'm running low on battery power. But the cake mix, ugh, that's so dumb. I doubt it matters. We might as well just use any old crap lying around. Fine, I guess. The sprite is playing hard to get. You guess that's what you get for originally prototyping it with something that engenders mischief and pranksterism. Do the potted vegetable instead. It looks delicious. Pipe down, you. This is Rose's decision, not yours. Rose, prototype sprite with Sassacre text. Ah, yes, sweet. Now we're talking. See if you can distract it. I'll try to sneak up on it. John, flail about in a distracting manner. The sprite finds the distracting manner in which you flail about to be rather distracting. The pesky sprite eludes you again. Not even the great Colonel himself can outfox it. In narrowly missing with your attempt, you create the Colonel sprite. In narrowly missing with your attempt to create the Colonel sprite, you drop the massive tome. The entire house rattles under the astonishing girth of the book. In the other room, Nana's ashes dump onto the sprite, which is caught unawares by the dowsing. Inspect Hag Ash incident. You find the sacred urn toppled again. This time, you're quite sure it wasn't your fault. The sprite is nowhere to be found. Rose, remove Cruxtruder from doorway. Ah, man, where'd it go? I can't find it anywhere in the house. No time to worry about it. The next thing we should do is get your server copy of the game from the car. You need to connect to my client so I can repeat your steps and presumably join you wherever you are. We should do this quickly before my house burns down. What? There's a fire? There will be soon. Oh, geez. So move this thing already. It looks like it requires a lot of grist to move. I don't have enough to relocate the door either. How much do you have? 0. Oh, I thought about jumping to the car from the ledge earlier, but that sounds really dangerous. I have a better idea. Meet me upstairs. Do again as purple words say. I forget who the all-caps narrator is. I think it's one of the trolls from way, way later, which we are not getting to the trolls this stream. I only have about 20 minutes before I take an intermission. In fact, let me check something. Yeah, I've got about 20 minutes. You were about to head upstairs, but you thought you heard something behind you. It was faint, but you could swear it was a small, light-hearted chuckle along the lines of a spirited hoo-hoo-hoo. Ignore this woman's antics. So his dead grandmother has now been combined with the sprite, and it is now a clown ghost that is also his grandma. You're not sure you even saw a woman, let alone any of her hypothetical antics, but whatever it was you might have caught a glimpse of, it sure gave you the willies. You head upstairs on your way to the balcony. Your PDA is acting up again. Indulge the device, but be curt with it. Hey bro, check it out. I'm working on some new rhymes. Dude, I don't have time for your nerdy raps. Come on, this is hells of ill, just listen. It sounds like you don't even believe me that I was about to get blown up, but I really was, and now I'm in some weird dimension that Spurb sent me to or something, and now on top of that, I think I'm being haunted by my dead grandma. Huh? For real? Yeah, it's true, but I'll talk to you later about it. I think I could drop some sick rhymes about all this. Man, see, I just don't think all this rapping stuff is really as cool as you think it is. No, this'll be dope, check it. No, I have to go. Bye. Wait. Armageddon's getting waged on us, but I'm a getting armed and dangerous, sending men in space for saving us. See which play is more courageous. Ben or Bruce, dudes reach a truce. Put their blow shoots to use and upsuck it. Affleck's sacrifice would have to suffice. Aw, fluck it. Bro be a stained glass saint up on a cross getting hella Christ plagiarist. Bruce is like off of that crucifix, enough with this fucking savior fuss. Be restrained his ass per McLean redux while Buscemi remain derangerous. When a plan gone astray pays off a wasted craterus. Ashtray crater into layers of Matt McConaughey's vague remainder dust. Wait, McConaughey wasn't even in any of those Meteor movies, was he? I'll have to make a rap about, I don't know, Morgan Freeman or something, being the president. It'll be called, Obama made it so that no one gives a shit about black presidents in movies anymore. See, you've got to fill me in on what's going on, so I have something to rap about besides all your dumb shit movies. Enough strange poetry from the red text. You head out to the balcony to find out what Rose has in mind. She's messaging you again. The purple text is less irrational than the red text. Show pester log. I'm lifting the car up to the balcony. Whoa, okay. Once it is up, retrieve the game. Then I'll put it back down on the driveway. But the door is locked. Then break the window. But it's my dad's car. Frowny face. It's just a window, and this is sort of an emergency. Otherwise, I promise I'll handle the car with velvet gloves. All right. Pick up car. Connection lost. And there it goes. Ridiculous folly. Inexcusable. You're inclined to agree, but hey, accidents happen. You double-check your PDA to make sure if Rose is really gone. Indeed, this seems to be the case. TG is still pestering you, of course, but another chum is now logged in as well. What color are the words that this chum says? I'm back. Oh, hi. I went to investigate the explosion I heard. Was it by any chance a meteor? Yes. How did you know? Aw, man, it's kind of a long story. Anyway, are you okay? Did it blow up your yard or start a fire or anything? No, I am fine. It landed a pretty good ways away from my house, and I went to look at it. And it's pretty big. But Beck doesn't want me to go near it, so I came home. He seems to think it's dangerous. Well, gosh, he's probably right. Anyway, what have you been up to, John? Oh, did you get my package yet? Surprise face. Yeah, I was trying to get it, but Rose dropped my car into a weird, spooky, bottomless pit, and the package was in the car, and I'm really sorry about that. Oh no! Wow, okay, I guess I should start at the beginning. See, a meteor blew up my neighborhood? That's terrible, John, I'm so sorry. But I'm okay, and my house is too, sort of. That game I was telling you about, Spurb, which I was playing with Rose, sort of transported me somewhere at the last minute. But now I'm trapped here, and it's weird and dark, and I can't find my dad, and I just lost the car and my copy of the game in the pit, and I think I have to save the world from the apocalypse. Well, it sounds really crazy and kind of scary, but it also sounds kind of exciting. I don't know, I don't know, John, maybe this is your destiny. If anyone can save the world, I think it's probably you. Wow, you think so? Yes. Well, okay, but it's not even that simple. I was about to connect to Rose to help transport her and save her from meteors and fire and stuff, but she lost battery power and I lost the game disc, so I think I have to get TG to use his copy to save her. But that jackass won't stop rapping and stuff. He is so silly. Yeah, anyway, I need to talk to him about it, so BRB. The green text was attractive. Now view the red text again. Show pester log. When the film crew zooms where the president's at, I'm like, if that dude's black, I'll eat my hat. Turns out he is, so we're all, damn, director's got gumption. Like, we'll all flip our shit when he ain't shining shoes or something. It's called free-emancipation. It's not press election. It's goddess session. In Bruce Almighty, whoops, different Bruce from the one I just mentioned. Ah! Can't explain to me why this ain't condescension to think I'll shit a brick not even he can convey the intention with which his quick-spun wit rather defray all this tension, sit on his lap while he whittles a splint, and some guy eyes what he does and patronizes, I guess, is the mother of invention. Stop rapping for a second, you horse's ass. I have something important to talk about. What's up? Rose is in trouble and she needs help. I was going to connect to her with Spurb, but I lost my copy. Okay. Also, she lost battery power. If she can't get back up and running, she'll need someone with the game to get her out of there before her house burns down. So I think you should use your copy of the game to help her. My copy? That's gonna be tough. Why? I lost it. It's a stupid story. I'd rather not talk about it. Shit be embarrassing, yo. I thought you said you had two. Well, yeah. One is my brother's copy. Okay, well, get his then. All right, but he's not gonna be happy about that. Whatever. Also, you might want to read Rose's walkthrough to get up to speed on this. Oh, man. What? Nothing, really. Look, all I'm saying is the girl tends to lay it on kind of thick, you know? Rolls eyes. Your laptop is out of battery power. There's only one thing left to do. Time to make your way to that backup generator. Rose, knit laptop cozy to shield your laptop from the rain. That would be such a waste of time. Besides, you already knitted one a while ago. You retrieve it from your knitting bag and apply it to your laptop. You capture log the laptop plus cozy. Equip Grimoire to Strife Specibus. That would be incredibly ill-advised. There are some dark forces you just do not want to mess with around it. You understand this better than most. You put the book down. Recapture log your items. You grab the knitting bag from the grimoire in that order. It's always a logistical puzzle with your tree modus. The tree auto-balances, leaving the knitting bag accessible in the root card. Allocate knitting needles to Strife Specibus. You feel a lot more comfortable with this as a weapon. You're so handy with those needles, you feel like you could probably use them to fillet a swordfish. You lose the root card in the process, severing the tree. Hey, careful with all that stuff. Rose, knit plush cuddle Cthulhu to soothe nerves. That would also be a preposterous waste of time. Besides, you're quite sure you never heard of this creature called Cthulhu before. There are, however, many other specimens of the zoologically dubious you're familiar with, such as... consult the grimoire. Fluthulu. Foul patrician of misery, to hear his mammoth belly gurgle is to know the epoch of joy has come to an abrupt end. And Nirub Yglith, shame beast king of grotesquerie, writhe lord of the moist beyondhood, hearing his melodious chirps and tongue clicks causes one's bones to explode. And of course, there's Oglagoth, the Deep One. Whenever he grinds his teeth, all the children of a random galaxy somewhere will frown continuously for a 9,000-year span. He is the first and smallest of the smaller gods, appointed in servitude of a vile, unfathomable pantheon of middling gods, which caters to the whims of the noble circle of horror terrors, an omniscient and omnipotent order of the elite few, forever cloaked in the darkness of the furthest ring. And then there's this strange page containing some rather mysterious notes on summoning procedures. You've never been quite sure what these diagrams are getting at. Window, plug into wall sockets, multi-dimensional window, stained glass window, open window, I don't know. Rows take items and proceed downstairs. You recapture log everything the way you want it to appear in the tree and head downstairs. You figure that's enough dilly-dallying, time to get a move on. Flash that I'm gonna have to find. Okay, I know where that one is. Yep. Display capture. I really wish all of these had titles. Yeah, that looks pretty bad. You wonder if this rain will ever let up. It's driven since the month began, perhaps long enough to forget its purpose. It no longer even knows to assuage fire. Somewhere, a zealous god threads these strings between the clouds and the earth, preparing for a symphony it fears impossible to play. And so it threads on and on, delaying the rays of the conductor's baton. How you hate this season. I forgot how much purple prose is in this game. It's clearly on purpose, right? Well, game is in this story. It's clearly on purpose, right? Like they're making fun of this writing style, but at the same time, it's also like... It's like both ironic and genuine. April is the cruelest month, breeding lilacs out of the dead land, mixing memory and desire, stirring dull roots with spring rain. Did I remember to turn off my display capture? Yes, I did. April is the cruelest month, breeding lilacs out of the dead land, mixing memory and desire, stirring dull roots with spring rain. American sports legend Charles Barkley. I don't know if he said that. Confront mother in hall. Surely your mother is lurking nearby. You should be prepared for an unpleasant confront. Oh, psych? What? There's this really cool dude, okay? He's standing around being all chill, like cool dudes are known to do sometimes. A cool dude like this probably has a really cool name, but he probably wouldn't just tell you what it was if you asked. He'd be way too busy for that, busy being totally sweet. But you can always try to guess his name, and if you were right, he might nod ever so slightly. That's a cool dude's way of letting you know there might just be hope for you yet. Enter name. Insufferable prick. This guy doesn't have time for this sort of bullshit. Try again. Dave Strider. Sparkle. Examine room. Your name is Dave. It is an unreasonably warm April day. Your bedroom window is open to let some air in, and your fan is cranked. Arguably even more cranked would be your fly beats, which brings us to your variety of interests. A cool dude like you is sure to have plenty. You have a penchant for spinning, for spinning out unbelievably ill jams with your turntables and mixing gear. You like to rave about bands no one's ever heard of but you. You collect weird dead things preserved in various ways. You are an amateur photographer and operate your own makeshift darkroom. You maintain a number of ironically humorous blogs, websites, and social networking profiles. And if the inspiration strikes, you won't hesitate to drop some fat rhymes on a mofo and represent. What will you do? Quickly retrieve arms from cinder blocks. Dave, get the damn beta and save your friend's life. This notion strikes you as nonsensical. You can't imagine how a video game could save someone's life, and in any case, you're quite sure no one you know is in any danger. Anyway, these are your copies of the beta you received in the mail recently. You've labeled them with your name in bold red print to distinguish them from your bro's copies, who labeled in his kind. Neither of you really gives a shit about this game or has any intention of playing it, but you'll be damned if you'll let that get in the way of your campaign of one-upsmanship. Dave, bleat like a goat and piss on your turntable. You would never consider allowing any fluid even remotely resembling urine to touch your beloved turntables. That would risk breaking them, and a world without the gift of your godly science just doesn't sound like a place you want any part of. While you're at it, you might as well wipe out the human civilization with a meteor or something ridiculous like that, which will probably never happen. That sort of thing only happens in stupid idiot movies for stupid idiots. You will, however, contemplate bleeding like a goat for ironically humorous purposes at a later date. Examine closet. This is your closet. This is where you keep a lot of your crap, like that box and that bottle of... What is that? Is that... Check the blue box. Ben Stiller. This is the package that your friend John Egbert sent you for your 13th birthday a little while ago. It now contains nothing except a note and a certificate of authenticity vouching for the genuine Hollywood memorabilia which the box originally contained, and which you are now wearing to be ironic, but also to be incredibly cool in a way somehow intangibly related to the ironic nature of the accessory. You find it sort of exasperating to explain these subtleties to people. The box also included a signed photo of Ben Stiller, which now proudly hangs above your closet, proudly and ironically. Take box. You capture log the box through your hash map fetch modus. Your modus's current hash function resolves the index by valuing each consonant at 2 and each vowel at 1. The total is divided by your number of cards, and the remainder is the index. Box equals 2 plus 1 plus 2 equals 5. 5% 10 equals 5. The box is capture logged in card 5. Good fucking lord. Dave, examine jar of unknown yellow substance in closet. Oh, hell yes. It's an unopened container of apple juice. You thought you were all out. It is like fucking Christmas up in here. This is so great. You've got to tell John about this immediately. He'll be so excited. Take juice. You capture log the juice into card 7. 2 plus 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 1 equals 10%, 7, something, I don't know. Access Pester Chum and Pester John. In addition to letting your buddy know about this outstanding juice windfall, you figure you'll wish him a happy birthday while you're at it. In your own cool sort of roundabout way, of course. Good thing you looked at that box he sent you, or you might have forgotten. You also might as well ask him about that beta. The kid's been harping about it for weeks. It would be cool if it came out on his birthday. He'd be one happy camper. Complete bullshit. Ill beats. Hang on, I gotta wait for the gift to loop. What were those? Pester Chum. Dope rhymes. So dope and something on fire. Come on. Hephaestus. Okay, that's his web browser. Okay, so I am going to cut off stream here for a brief intermission. I will be back maybe later today, maybe next week. We'll see. Thank you to everyone who tuned in, and I will see you next time. Later. Oh, have a good day, afternoon, night, whatever it is where you are.